What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about Post Malone. So, Post Malone has been teasing his new album, The Eternal Buzz, and this is looking like it will be a double album. And I am very, very curious as to what route he really goes down. Right now, it is just heavily speculated that it's going to be more in line with his roots, the more melodic rap sound that he was very well known for. But being a double album, I'm a little not convinced it'll be fully that. I think it will either be a blend of kind of the sounds he's done up until now, or maybe he even does one disc country, one disc more melodic rap. That's all speculation at this point, though. So obviously, we'll just have to wait and see a little bit closer to the date. But this just got me thinking because obviously Post Malone is still a huge name, like one of the biggest names in recent memory as far as like newer artists, which I don't even like saying that with him because the dude's been in the game for like 10 years of making music. So it's like not really that new. But he sort of kind of got on like before the fracturing of like the internet and just the diversion of everyone's attention. So I think that he really, really did get in on like the last second to end up being what he is now, which is like a household name. Like everyone knows who Post Malone is. Parents know who Post Malone is. He's just that big. And so he also recently had a song with Sway Lee that ended up charting, I believe. And that obviously they have Sunflower. I think that might be the only song they have together, at least the only one that's coming to me. So obviously that is like a duo I think people like want to hear a good song from, just because we've gotten, that song went great. Like I think that song is Double Diamond or something actually insane like that. So clearly there's an appetite for them to work together, especially with Post Malone have been doing the country thing for the last few years now. So it's definitely been a minute. So beyond just what this album kind of ends up looking like, I am very curious. So if it is more in line with the melodic rap stuff, I'm very interested to see what the show out for that is, because like I said, Post Malone's a huge name. I don't think anyone would disagree. But with the different genres that he's gone down, because obviously he's doing the country with the last album. The album before that wasn't really melodic rap either. Austin, I guess I wouldn't know exactly where that would fall, but it had like a lot of acoustic guitar and was like mainly like singing and stuff like that. So not really country, but it definitely was not melodic rap. And then the album before that was kind of like a blend of the Austin sound with his, usual melodic rap at that point. And so like that was 12 Karat Toothache. I want to say that was like half and half. It definitely had elements of both. And then after that, Austin kind of fully leaned into the singer-songwriter type songs. So because of that, so 12 Karat Toothache was 2022, I believe, and then Austin was 2023. And then the country album was 2024. So between that like 3-year span, he kind of had like 3 different genres that he was in. And then now it's been 2 years since the country album, and he's definitely kind of carved out his niche within that genre now. And now I'm curious as to what the fans really like. Where are the melodic rap fans like I feel like Post Malone is that kind of name that like although he hasn't like made that kind of music in a while, people will be very willing to check it out because like let's be honest, Post Malone just makes very, very wide appealing music. Like the dude is talented. You can not like his music necessarily, but I don't think you can deny the width of his audience and just how many people like kind of mess with his music at least one part of his career or another. But now, because he's been genre hopping, and that's a whole other thing that, he gets flack for, which whatever. I'm not going to comment on that right now because, I mean, they're not wrong. But he's usually successful. But now that he's going back to the melodic rap after kind of, having been away for a minute, I'm curious as to how much of his newer audience from the country stuff translates over to that and how much he loses because from his original audience that like kind of fell off after he made the initial switch. That is going to be very interesting to see because I still think Post Malone is easily one of the biggest names in music. I don't think anyone would deny that. But obviously, the current times for commercial success are not as consistent as they once were for a variety of reasons. But Post Malone specifically has just painted himself into a weird situation because he's just kind of jack of all trades, master of none situation, I would say, for lack of just like a better term. But like, I truly don't know if people are really looking for him like that anymore within the melodic rap space. He's so big that there definitely is going to be some people, and he's got his own fan base for sure. Like, I would consider myself a fan of Post Malone. Like, I feel like he's proven that he's pretty good with whichever genre or route he decides to go down. I've enjoyed Austin, I enjoyed F1 Trillion, and I enjoyed all of the stuff before that as well. I'm honestly just here for whatever he ends up making, and as long as it's good, I will end up listening to it. But I just know with the internet and the different way music works now, as far as just like audience retention, even getting people to check it out first day, like it's just kind of a completely different universe than even when in 2022 when he dropped his last album that had a few songs that were still in the melodic rap space. So we'll be watching and seeing how people seem to receive the album. Specifically the 40, because it's supposed to be like 40 songs. That's just a lot of music, and I don't think that with the specific situation he's in, I think that really is not going to help too much as far as the commercial performance. If you have a 24 song album, I mean, people are just gonna be like, that's way too much. The attention spans, all of that stuff that I'm sure you're very much aware of already. That does not really help out when you have an album of that length. But who knows? Maybe it ends up working out and being the next big Post Malone album, like Beer Bongs and Bentleys level of popularity. Who knows? Because I do believe in his ability to make good music still. I don't think anyone really questions that. More so, the question is like, will the people check it out? And that's like always the big thing. You could be making the most amazing music in the world, but if no one is deciding to throw it on, does it really matter? Well, as far as just like the mainstream, but obviously it's Post Malone. Dude's like a pop star. The mainstream, reception of it is sort of the reception of the album for his case. It's not like you're an underground rapper where there's just a different set of expectations, a different set of fans and all that. But let me know what you guys think down below. Is this an album that you guys are excited for? If so, what would you love for it to look like? I imagine a lot of people are asking for that return to form, but I'm curious. Maybe some people have just moved on. Either way, let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you later. Peace.